Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of My Wholesome Writing Life with me, Hoang. I'm the author of the Girl Giant series and the upcoming Hidden Tales, and I'm also a librarian. So today's episode is all about finding character voice or building character voice. Obviously, all novelists or story writers or writers in general have to build character voice. One of the struggles that I have with that is making my characters all distinct from one another. And that's because I tend to write female Asian characters, and I also struggle with not having them sound too much like me because after all I am the author who is behind all of them. It can be difficult to write distinctive voices. So today I'm going to talk about some of the things that I do that helps me. So most of the time when I'm having this problem, it's because I don't know my characters well. Like sure, I know their like physical traits, the sort of facts that you fill out in like a questionnaire, but I don't know them. I haven't spent enough time with them. So one of the things that I do is will write an imaginary scene. I mean, they're all imaginary, but I will write a scene that I know will not go in the book or is happening maybe like in a backstory, and see what the character says, how they respond to situations, especially how they respond to other characters, and which is how you will sort of develop their dialogue as well, which is another problem that, all writers have to figure out. Most of the times when I do this, I don't end up actually using the scene in the novel because after all, it's just for practice and it will usually be in a backstory, but it'll help me get to know the character well enough. And then that backstory or that scene that I wrote for practice becomes a pretty instrumental part of the character. Maybe whatever tough scene that you want the character to have, but you don't necessarily want to experience on the page, this is the scene that you use to practice because you can get out of your system, you'll know what happened, and when you reference them in the book, then you will have something concrete to refer to, even if it's not directly on the page of the story. One of my favorite writing advices that I've ever gotten, which is to start what's called a voice journal for your character. And that's where you write a journal that you pretend is from the point of view of the character, and basically just a diary of their events. Maybe if you want to pick out some scenes from your book that you're already working on and want to have the character just journal about it, and that way you kind of get their like emotional side that you don't necessarily have to bog down the story with, but you might end up using some of, so it's not completely like useless practice. I mean, none of this is going to be useless. It all adds to the book. So, but one of my favorite things I love to do, have the character write letters to their best friend. And this is perfect for me because I talk to my best friend differently than how I talk to anyone else. And I talk to my best friend in a way that really brings out this side of me that nobody else gets to see. And your character will have a best friend, or hopefully they'll have a best friend that they get to speak to and tell their most deepest, darkest secrets to, and act in a way that no one else gets to see. And hopefully these letters to their best friend brings out a side of them that you didn't realize was there, and it will deepen your relationship with this character and will help develop their voice more. And these don't have to be like a lot of practices or drills. It can just be like one or two letters to the best friend, or if you really want to get into it, maybe write a couple letters to the best friend and then a couple letters to someone they really hate, just to sort of distinguish between how they talk to someone they don't like and then someone that they love, from the deepest pits of their heart. For the journal, maybe just like one or two entries from a scene in the past that they still like can't get over, that really affect their emotional arc within the story, or just pick out a story scene and write a journal from that point of view of the character. So those are my solutions for the day. I hope you found them helpful, and let me know if you have some of your own. What tools do you use to develop your character's voice, and which tools are you going to give a try at from the ones that I picked. Before I leave, I'm going to talk about a library tip. So, did you know that libraries have more than just like books and materials that you can check out? I'm saying this from a very personally biased view because my job title is programming librarian. So what I do is I create like events and classes and programs for people to come to the library to learn stuff like boba workshop, where we literally made boba. I'll coordinate author events. I will make slime. If you always imagine libraries to be like a building of books, it's not. It's more than that. It's more like an institution for lifelong learning. Check out your local library and see what classes they're offering. Most likely it'll be free. You'll learn something new. You'll meet cool people, and then you'll become a good standing member of the community, which is, what we all strive for. Maybe. By the way, I'm reading a really good book. Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez, and I really, really, really loved his Vanished Birds. And it was one of those books that I finished reading it and I just like wanted more of it, and I kept searching for more, and I could not find many. And as soon as he announced his new book, I was so excited and waited for this book to come out, and I am just enjoying the heck out of it. Like, it is so bizarre, but like in an amazingly fascinating way, and it's very experimental, and I'm just loving the experience of reading it. So if you are looking for a fantastical, experimental, bizarre, speculative fiction book, go check it out. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye. Writing can be hard. I'm here to obsess over the wholesome, delightful, fulfilling practices, solutions, and tools that I love about crafting stories. I'm Van Hoang, author and librarian. Join me on my journey of joyful writing.